Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're doing good. So today we'll try to understand REST outbound integration in ServiceNow. So let's get started. So for REST outbound integration, we need REST messages. So first we'll understand what is REST message. Okay. So REST, as we are aware of that, stands for representational state transfer, and REST is an architectural pattern, and REST work with plain text, XML, HTML, and JSON. Okay. So now we'll try to understand how REST web services works. Okay. So REST web services make use of HTTP protocols as a medium of communication between client and server. So basically for outbound, what happens? So once we create any incident in our source system, it has to be created in a target system as well. So for that we need REST messages, and it communicate from one instance to another instance, and it use HTTP protocol as a medium of communication between source and target. Okay. And a client, uh, I have represented here client and server. So how communication happens? A client send a message in a form of HTTP request, and server responds in a form of HTTP response. So basically this technique is termed as a messaging. So messaging is generally happens in term of request and response. Okay. Even in REST message, the same thing happens. So from the source system, request will be sent to the target system, and from target system, response will be come to source system. So each message contain either a request from a client or a response from a servers. So we'll see how we do it by using REST message. How we establish outbound integration by using REST message. We are going to see the demonstration. So before that, I'll just try to make you understand what is outbound integration. Okay, what outbound integration means in ServiceNow. So outbound means the ServiceNow makes a call to other application. Inbound means other application was making call to ServiceNow, right? And in outbound, ServiceNow will make call to other application, REST API, to get information from the other application, whether it can create a request, it can create a record or update a record. So while outbound web services allow ServiceNow to initiate a transaction with third-party tool, okay, it can use any of method like GET, POST, etc. So basically in outbound, what will happen? Incident, like if I'll create incident in source system, that incident will be created in target system as well. Okay. So request will be sent to the target system from ServiceNow, and that request will be acknowledged in the third party tool and will get a response back to the ServiceNow. Okay. So mainly in outbound, how a REST call will be sent and how REST call will be received to the target system, we are going to understand here. So doing this, we'll navigate to the instance and we'll try to understand. Okay. So first, to send a REST call, we need to configure REST message. Okay. So let's go and configure REST message. So this is our instance 1 and this is our instance 2. So this instance is a kind of source system and this one will be act as a target system. Okay, instance 2. So if I create an incident in instance 1, it has to be created in instance 2 as well. Okay. So first, in source system, what all things I have to do, I'm going to let you know. So type here REST message, and under outbound you have to click on REST message. Yeah. So let's create one new REST message. So this, from instance 1 we are sending a REST call to instance 2. Okay. So here we are creating REST message. So I'm giving name as a demo REST integration. Okay. And now we need endpoint of the target system. Okay. So I think you are aware of as of now how can you create endpoint. So we are going quickly to REST Explorer, REST API Explorer. Okay, and here we'll create API in the target system, that is our instance 2. So from instance 2 we just need, let's see, so here to send the REST call we need to create the REST message, and then we need to define our HTTP method, and after that we need to write any of server-side script to trigger the REST call. Okay, and to receive the REST call in our target system, that is our instance 2, what all things I have to do it. First of all, I need to create an API endpoint. So by using table API, import set API, or scripted REST API, you can refer any of them and you can create a API. Okay, and after that we need authentication and authorization part. So we'll understand that. So first I'm going to create an API. So I need create a record post method API, because I need to, once I create an instance in source system, it has to be created in target system. That's why I've selected create a record post method, and here I need to create this API incident table. So that's all. If you want to set any query parameter or any of them, you can do it. I'm not doing any of them. I'm just sending it and I'm creating API. So our API has been created, and you can do one more thing. If you don't want to select this incident table and send this, you can take this one, this, and you can replace table with your table. Okay, so that is also can be done. So let's go here, and we have got our endpoint. So I provided endpoint. Okay, and now we need to do the authentication part. So here I'm going to select basic, and here let's create. So here I have already created this integration user. Okay, so how can you create it? You can click on new and you can provide the name, username and password. Okay, so let's create here one more REST API, REST API user. Okay, here username I'm providing the same, and password you can provide anything. Let's submit it. So this profile I have created in our instance 1. So same profile has to be created in user instance 2 as well. Okay, so let's go to user record and let's create one account here. Okay, so user ID and password should be same, whatever we have given over there in our instance 1. And if you want to provide a name or last name, you can have all those information. You can just save it, and this user should be having REST web services role. Okay, so here just search for REST. So this user should be having a REST service role. Okay, then only this user should be able to respond. So in instance 1, what all we have done, so instance 1 we are creating this REST message. For that we needed endpoint, so we have configured endpoint from the system to target system by using REST API Explorer, and we have given here this we have taken basic authentication, we have created this basic auth profile, and the same user we have created in instance 2. Okay, here, and we have provided him, the user, this role REST services. Let's come here. Nothing you have to do apart from this, just save it. So once you created REST message, you can scroll down and see this default gate, this HTTP method default gate has been created automatically by default. So let's go and check. So get is for fetch the data. So if you want to read any data, you can use this method. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one new HTTP method for post. So I'm giving the name as create an incident. Okay, and in HTTP method I need to select post, and endpoint I need to select the same. Okay, so this will create a record, this will create a incident. So authentication type inherit from parent, that is fine, nothing has to be done. Now you have to come to HTTP request, and here you have to do some of the modification. So here in HTTP headers, if you want to have something, you can do it. Mainly we are going to have content under HTTP query parameters. Okay, so this content, how you have to do it, you have to do it in any format. I am going to take JSON format here. So how we define JSON format, I am let you know. So here you can give curly braces, and here in JSON we always provide the value in key and values. Okay, so this is the format actually. So here you can describe any variable here, and here you can provide the value of the variable in this format. Okay, so here you can have a variable, and here you can have value which you want to put into this variable. So we need to do mapping of fields from the incident table, right? So let's see, here you have to take a backend value of the fields from the incident table from the system 2. Okay, from where we have created this endpoint. So here you can go to the incident. So let's open one of the incident. So whatever values you want to map from source to target system, you can take backend value of those fields. So let's take caller ID first. So how can you define it? So you have taken caller ID, and in place of variable you have to put that backend value of the field. So here caller ID, and here you can pass any value. So if you want to pass any static value, you can pass it like that. But here we are going to pass some dynamic value. So how you can take the dynamic value, I'm going to let you know. So you have to put dollar and curly braces. Under that curly braces you can define one variable. Okay, so this variable, whatever we are defining here, I'm going to use it and set the value which I want to pass it here through business rule, and through the business rule only we are going to trigger this REST call. So I'll show you. So first we have to take some a variable here. So let me take u underscore caller. So this is how you can set the variable here in the REST message content. Okay, so if you want to set some another variable, you have to do the same thing. Go to target system, take the backend value of that. So let's take configuration item, or let's take sort description and description. So you can take whatever you want. Okay, and you can set it as per your requirement. So here I am passing u underscore sort description. Okay, and I'm setting the description. Sorry, I need to go to target. Okay, let's say assignment group as well. So I'm just setting this many values. You can set more if you want. Okay, so here I'm going to give you underscore assignment group. Okay, and I need to close this with curly braces. So that's all. So this is the JSON format. So we are providing the value in the key and value. So you can pass a static value as well, but here we want to make our script dynamic, so I'm passing this value as a dynamic. So here I have passed the variable. I'm going to put map the value into the variable through business rule. So that's all. That's all you have to do it. Here comma is missing. So that's all you have to do it in REST message. You can save it, and let's configure business rule to trigger this REST message. Okay. So let's go to business rule. Okay. Okay, so let's create the business rule. So here I'm giving name as a trigger REST call. Okay. And in table I need to select incident. So I'm selecting incident table here. And I'm checking this advanced. So here I'm going to select async business rule. So if you need more clarity on why I'm selecting async business rule, you can refer my business rule videos where I have explained about all the business rule, where you can use which business rule. So in filter condition, you can take any of the filter condition based on your requirement, like assignment group is something, or based on configuration item category. So it will trigger this business rule only for the specific assignment group, or like whatever condition you have selected. So if condition will match, then only trigger this business rule. So in real-time scenario, often we get this kind of requirement. So like if assignment group is some specific which belongs to that target instance of what the queue, so only for that assignment group we need to trigger the business rule. So here let's write our code. So first of all, I'm creating instance of this REST message class. So once you write s_ws dot, you can get this. So you can select REST message v2. Here we have to trigger our REST message and method, right? So you have to copy this REST message which you have created and you want to trigger. Along with that, you need to copy the method, static method which you have created. So here this REST message and this HTTP method which you have defined under this REST message will get triggered. Okay. So now you can use this REST object, and you can do a lot of things. So once I typed request dot, you could see I got so many options. So by referring this, you can able to get request body, you can able to get request header, you can set basic auth, like whatever you want you can set it. So here we have to map the values. Okay, so I am using the set string parameter no escape. So here we have to take the value which we have defined here, right? So this is this variable which we have defined, and this is the target value field, target field. So what we have to do is we have to send the data, like what data we want to send into this variable, that data will be mapped into this variable. So here let's set what we want to map into this variable. So here I want to map current dot caller ID. So this caller ID is the backend value of the caller from the incident table. So let me go once. So incident dot list. Okay. So this value we have to do the mapping from the source table. So let me show you. So this is the target field, and we have created this variable to make this dynamic. And here what value we are taking, this one I am taking from the source, but we are using ServiceNow only as a source and target, so this will be the same, right? But here you have to take the variable which you have defined in the REST message, and here you have to take the source value, source field value, okay, backend value of the source instance. So same way we'll map all the values, all the other field. So let's take sort description and quickly we map it here. Sort description to current dot sort description, request dot set string. Let's take backend value. Let's take description and we have to map your current dot description. So same way we have mapped all the values here. Okay, so this 4 value we have done the mapping. Here what you have to do is you have to execute this request. Okay, so for that request dot execute you can use. Okay, so now you can store this request into like when you are executing this request, whatever you are getting, you can, that will be the response, right? So I'm storing that into the response. Now by using this response you can do a lot of things again. See here, so this is a response body, response header, response error message. So whatever you want you can use it. So I want to have response get body. Okay, so here I am going to store into one of the variable, so I can see what I am getting as a response body. So similarly you can have status code, error message, whatever you want. So basis on that you are able to identify if there's any issue, you are able to identify it. Okay, so you are having this response, so status code, here we can have response error message and you can print it, you can log, use gs.log and you can have in logged and you could see if there's any error or if there's a status code is 201, so that means that is fine, there's no error. If there's some status code like 404, so you can able to identify which error we are getting. So for that purpose why we are using it. So here I'm logging just response body, so I could see what all things I'm getting as a response. So let's save it. That's all. So guys, let's go and create new incident. Okay, to test our functionality. So here I'm going to create a new incident, test REST API. Same I'm going to pass into description as well. Let's save it. So once I save it, let's go to our instance 2 target instance and let's see whether our incident got created or not. Okay, so here you could see our incident got created and our value has been mapped here. Like caller, we have whatever we have given. So description is not mapped, maybe we have taken backend value incorrectly, so make sure you take backend value correctly. And here we have not passed the assignment group. Okay, so that's why assignment group also didn't come. So that's all right. So for description, see here we can come and we can go to the logs and you can see, because we have if we get any kind of error we have our response body, right? So we can go to log and we can check. So here, where is that response body, this one has got created. Here you can come and verify. So if I find for sort description, see here sort description has been passed. If I go for caller ID, we could see this is a reference field, so link has been passed. If you go for description is blank, maybe something backend value is incorrectly, and assignment group we haven't passed, that's why it's a blank, right? So here you can come and verify it also. So this is how you can create, instance and incident in target instance by using REST outbound integration. So I hope this video is helpful. If you find my videos helpful, do not forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.